Hey guys, welcome for Game Back today, bringing a video for our favorite weapon series for our tactical weapons. And first off, Merry Christmas to everyone if you're celebrating the Christmas holiday. Otherwise, Happy Holidays to everybody else. We're going to be doing the Christmas stream tonight here on YouTube as well for some Warzone. But first off, let's go ahead and jump into the tactical weapon builds here for our favorite weapon series. Today we're going to be covering all of the Cold War tactical weapon builds we can make. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We have quite a bit to cover here. So first off, we're going to start with the M1A conversion from the DMR-14. So I'll go through, a lot of the attachments are going to be the same, so I won't repeat all the pros and cons. But first off, what we're doing here, if we go ahead and strip this down, we have the DMR-14. For the muzzle, we're going to want that agency suppressor. Now this goes for Warzone and Cold War. We're building them here in Warzone just because they look a little bit cleaner. But first off, we're going to go agency suppressor. So the pros and cons are different versus Cold War multiplayer and the Warzone. But we'll go with Warzone pros and cons here since this is where we're building it. So sound suppression, damage at range increase, cons, ADS speed, and aim walk and steadiness. So very similar to the monolithic suppressor. Go ahead and put that on. Now the barrel, we're going to go ahead and want the titanium barrel, the 16.3 inch. This is going to increase our fire rate, the cons being the effective damage range. But this is going to be really however you feel. You can go with the 16.3 inch or even the 20.8 if you're really trying to extend your ranges there. Just keep in mind you're going to have a little bit more recoil for that. But you can go with either or, I would say. And as well as the match grade will increase your effective range as well. But probably the task force or the titanium are your best two. We'll go with the task force for those medium range engagements. Now for the optic, I'm actually going to go with the Vulture Custom. This is going to allow us to go from anywhere between a 10 or a 1 and a 10 times zoom level here. So we can really toggle that however we want. Allow us to engage kind of really of whatever range we feel comfortable with, especially play with our zoom optics there. Now the stock option, we're going to go with the Raider stock. This will kind of convert it here into an M1A, very similar to the one we see in Modern Warfare, especially with that, I believe it's even called the Raider stock or the Archangel stock. Pros here are going to be the sprint to fire time as well as the aim walking movement speed. Cons are the hip fire accuracy, but again, we're not really hip firing this weapon. And next up, the final attachment, we'll go ahead and put on the field agent grip. This will help with our vertical and horizontal recoil control. The cons are the shooting movement speed. So we'll go ahead and put that on. And that is our final build here for the M1A from the Black Ops Cold War DMR-14. Really building it here for Warzone or Cold War multiplayer. That's our DMR-14 to the M1A. So next up, we'll go with the AUG A1. So we'll go ahead first off and we'll strip this down to base. Here's our base AUG. So we'll go ahead for the muzzle. Again, we're going to run that agency suppressor for the same pros and cons. Now the barrel here, we're going to want, again, the strike team. This is going to increase our damage as well as the fire rate. Cons here are going to be the effective damage range and the idle sway. So there's really a couple options you can go with here. I would say strike team or even something like the 19.8 inch, which again, you're just going to have to watch your recoil control there. But for this one, we'll go ahead and do the strike team barrel. Going to help give us increased fire rate so we can follow up with the more through round bursts with less gap between bursts. For the optic, we're going to want the axle arms 3 times. Then for the ammunition, we're going to go ahead and do that 54 round salvo magazine. And the underbarrel, again, this is going to increase us from 30 all the way up to 54. So we're increasing the magazine quite a bit. And again, this is a fast mag, so it's going to essentially increase your reload time that much better. So just keep an eye on your weight with this weapon. You can always throw on something like a 45 round speed mag to help your mobility a little bit more there. And then for the underbarrel attachment, we're going to go with that field agent grip. So it's interesting if I deselect this, it's the same built-in foregrip that comes with the AUG, which is neat. So these other ones kind of replace that, as you can see there with that mock-up Picatinny rail attachment. But here the field agent grip gives us the one that comes with the AUG. Just flip down here. So this is going to assist, again, vertical recoil control as well as horizontal. Con is the shooting movement speed. So this is our AUG A1. And then for customization, reticle-wise, I would recommend probably something like the Recon or the Hunter if you have it unlocked. Otherwise, the default is still very, very good. So this is our AUG A1. You can see really nice weapon. 3 round burst, get shots on target. This is really, I think, one of the underused tactical rifles right now in Warzone for sure. Definitely deals a lot of damage. And depending on what kind of barrel you want, you can really customize it for however you want to use it. So that's our AUG A1. Now we'll go with our AK74U, basically just meaning it's going to be suppressed. So we'll go ahead and jump into this one, and I will strip this down. So we have our base AKS-74. And for the muzzle, we're going to go with a GRU suppressor or the PBS4. Again, same pros and cons as the agency suppressors we looked at here for Warzone. Then for the barrel, we're going to want that 8.4-inch rifle. I think that'll give us the effective damage range. Or you could go with the, let's see, where is it? Okay, I lied. We'll go with the 8.4. This is an odd weapon because some of these barrel attachments give it the appearance of an AS Val or an SR3, which we don't really want with this for cosmetic purposes. So we'll go with the 8.4. It's going to give us that damage range. Con is the shooting movement speed, so we'll go ahead and put that on. Optic, we're going to run with a standard Cobra red dot here. Give us the 1.75 magnification. Again, it's a Russian optic on a Russian weapon, so it looks really nice. Keep the base stock here. We'll skip the laser as well as the rear grip for the ammunition. Again, this is a weird gun because it has some drums, but it also has AS Val SR3 magazines, which kind of are odd with this weapon. So we're going to go with the GRU mag clamp. So you're just going to have two 30-round magazines that'll clamp together. It's going to increase your reload quickness and your max starting ammo. The cons are the ADS time. So we'll select that. And then for the underbarrel attachment, we're going to want that Spetsnaz grip. Is going to help us with the vertical and horizontal recoil control. So we'll put that on. That is our AKS74UB for our suppressed AKS74. And again, it's labeled as an SMG, but this is really just a short-barreled assault rifle. It still fires 5.45 by 39, not anything, not a submachine gun caliber like a 9mm. So it's still an AR. It's still an AR essentially. So that's our AKS74UB. Next up is going to be our FAMAS F1 or our FAMAS Valoricier. Essentially, is what this comes down to. So we'll go ahead and strip this. Now this thing is just a beast at close to medium ranges. On the ground pickup for this weapon, I'm just crushing every time I pick this up. So agency suppressor, again, same pros and cons. Keep you off the minimap. It's going to extend your damage range. For the barrel, I'm going to go with a 17.9-inch ultralight. This is going to help our strafe speed. Again, this is mainly built for close quarters, so there's no cons with this. Increases our mobility. The optic, I'm going to go with a nice, clean, precision optic here. So we're going to go with probably the micro LED. Going to give us that 1.25 magnification. We'll select that. We'll skip on the stock. However, you do have some interesting stock options here to create some different types of, or variants of the FAMAS, which is nice. But we'll skip that for now. And then for the ammunition, we're going to want the 50-round salvo. Again, this is just going to be our quick mag 50-round magazine increase from the 30-round magazine that you come with at base. So your only con is the ADS speed, which really should be fine with this. The pros here are the magazine ammo capacity, reload quickness. Max starting ammo, not really applicable to Warzone because you're going to pick up the same ammo anyways. But again, the pro here is really just you have 20 extra rounds of the magazine. Since this thing fires at base, you come with 25. So you're increasing 30 rounds total here, or you're going from 25 to 50. So you also have the fast rate of fire on this at 1,000 rounds per minute just about here in game. So you're going to need that extra ammo to tear through. And then for the foregrip, again, the heavy recoil on this, we're going to want to control it with the field agent grip for that vertical and horizontal recoil control. So this is our FAMAS F1/Valoricier hybrid here. Really nice looking. Again, really good for a CQC situation, especially even those shorter medium ranges. Just tears through people because of the fast rate of fire. Next up, we're going to go with the M60. So this is probably one of my all-time favorite weapons here in any game. Has always been the M60. This is a classic M60 that we all know from the Vietnam era. So again, we're going to go with the agency suppressor. The barrel, I'm going to go with the task force barrel since we're going to get the damage, effective damage range and the bullet velocity on this. We're going to need that damage range and bullet velocity with this weapon. So we'll select that. The cons, again, are the magazine ammo capacity, not applicable to Warzone. Max started ammo, not applicable to Warzone. And ammo capacity, not applicable to Warzone. So really, there's no cons to this, essentially, that are listed at least. Probably going to hurt your ADS speed a little bit, but that's okay. Optic, we're going to want it 3 times on this one because we're really going to want to be engaging those medium ranges with this weapon. For the rear grip, we're going to go with the Serpent Wrap. Just going to improve our ADS time by, I believe, 25%. Con to sprint to fire. You could go with the Airborne Elastic, but shooting movement speed and sprint to fire speed are down a little bit. You lose some control there. So we're going to go with this Serpent Wrap. Again, just personal preference. And then we'll skip the ammunition. You come with a base, I believe, 75 rounds of that 7.62x51. So it really should be plenty with the slow rate of fire at this at 550 to 600 rounds per minute. You can control and get those shots on target. It's not something like a PKM or a Bruin where you're just burning through ammo very, very quickly. So 75 rounds, very manageable on the M60. Underbarrel, we're going to want, again, the field agent grip for the horizontal and vertical recoil control. And that's our M60 for Warzone. Really effective. I've used this quite a bit. Again, really nice weapon to use. Reticle wise, default. Otherwise, if you have it, I prefer the Hunter for this one, but the Recon is always a good one as well. Again, slow rate of fire, so you can keep shots on target pretty accurately, especially with that 75 rounds of the 7.62 by 51. Next up, we're going to go the XM177, or the XM4 as it's known here in games. So let's go ahead and strip this down. So again, we're going to go with the agency suppressor. Barrel, we're going to want that 13.7 extended or takedown. Really personal preference, whatever you want there. I'm going to go with the extended just to increase our bullet velocity. But you could go, it really is a trade-off which one you want. Extended or task force. So we also have the 13.5 task force here, which I'm actually going to go with this. So you can see damage, effective range, and bullet velocity. So you really don't need to pick or choose one. You get a little bit of a shorter barrel. And again, the pros versus the cons. These cons are not really applicable to Warzone. So those are mainly Cold War multiplayer. So with this, it's just going to probably hurt your ADS speed a little bit. But we'll go with the task force barrel. Probably the best option for this weapon. Optic, we'll go with the really personal preference, the Silex Hollow Scout. Again, basically supposed to be an early type of EOTech here. It gives us that 1.75 magnification. Stock, we can go ahead and skip on that one. However, you do have some nice options for some conversions here with some M16 stocks, etc. Ammo, we'll go with the 60-round Salvo Fast Mag. See, again, same pros and cons we've seen. And for the underbarrel, we'll go with that Field Agent grip again for the recoil control for both vertical and horizontal. So that's our XM177 or our XM4. X meaning experimental. There we go. And the last one here for our colder weapon is going to be the L96 or the LW3 Tundra. So let's go ahead and we will strip this down to base. So here's our base LW3 or our L96. For the muzzle, we'll go ahead and put on the wrap suppressor. Again, same as the suppressors we've seen. Basically just a monolithic suppressor here. Barrel, we're going to want the 28.2-inch Tiger Team. Now this is actually very... This is probably the best competitor with HDR we have in the game right now is this LW3. So we'll go the Tiger Team barrel. Again, they're going to give us that damage, fire range, and bullet velocity increase on this weapon. Optic will leave for the base one. However, you do have some other options there for sniper scopes if you want. One that may actually be more viable with this one versus how it is with the M82 is the Ultra Zoom Custom. You can go all the way up to 20 times magnification. So it's the bullet velocity on this matches very closely to the HDR. You can hit those long-range shots. And if I can hit them with the M82 with that sight, I think you can hit them with this pretty easily. So for the grip, we'll go with the Airborne Elastic. Again, aim down sight speed, flinch resistance, and the aim while going prone, which is not applicable really to Warzone. Cons are the shooting movement speed and the sprint to fire. So go ahead and select that. Ammunition, personal preference, you can go with probably the 7-round speed mag or even the Salvo 9-round fast mag. So again, just going to increase your magazine ammo capacity up from 5 to either 7 or 9 and increase your reload quickness. And then the final one we want here on the snipers is going to be the bipod. So it's going to give us the same pros that we went over with the agency grip. Is going to be the vertical and horizontal recoil control. The cons are the sprinting movement speed on the weapon. So we'll select that. And that is our LW3 Tundra or our L96. And those are all of our tactical weapons that we covered here for our Warzone weapons, of the Cold War weapons at least for now. So this is probably part 1 of this. Again, we'll extend this as I believe this is part 7 of our overall tactical weapon series. But we have the M1A, the AUG A1, the Steyr AUG A1, the AKS74U the FAMAS F1 or the FAMAS Valoriscier. It's kind of a mix. We also have the classic M60, the XM177, and the L96 sniper rifle. So let me know down below what you guys think of these tactical weapons, which ones are most viable in Warzone. I think all of these have their place in Warzone. These are definitely, obviously the M1A type build here is probably one of the more popular ones right now. The AUG is definitely up there. This is an underused one, I believe, which is probably gonna end up taking over one of the meta spots eventually here. AKS74U very, very good for CQC engagements. FAMAS, again, same as the 74U, very good for CQC engagements because of that high rate of fire. M60, great at medium range engagements. With that slow rate of fire, we can control, hit our shots, and conserve our ammunition. XM177, again, very good at medium range, I would say. And the L96, probably the best competition to the HDR we have in game right now. So Let me know down below what you guys think of these. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. I'll catch everyone on stream tonight. This is Buffner Gaming with our tactical weapons for our Cold War weapons. Till next time, Buffner Gaming, out.